Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another recap of Blueface and Chrisean, Crazy in Love. Yes, like I said before, you can catch this on the Zeus Network app. I believe like $5.99, $6 plus tax. Apple Music. Well, I mean Apple, whatever. So this is episode 2, Baltimore. So basically, it continues off with after Chrisean pulls off in somebody's whip. She comes back like 5 minutes later. She picks up Blue, her stylist, and somebody else, and they head to the bowling alley, and they start bowling, having a good time, and just enjoying each other's company, whatever the case would be. They end up ordering some pizza, and they just take in the fact that they're bowling. And while they're there, one of her siblings call her. I'm not sure. I think it was Turleen or the other one. They end up calling her and asking her where she at. She's like, listen, I'm at bowling now. I'm just down the street. And I guess they told her that, listen, we outside at the hotel waiting for you. So she's like, well, I'm bowling right now, so it is what it is. So eventually her family members, they're eating or whatever the case may be. And then I guess midway through the bowling session, Chrisean's brother Mookie decides that he's gonna pull up on her. And he does just that. So he goes to the bowling alley, sees his sister, gives her a hug and a kiss, and she starts crying and stuff like that because probably is emotional feeling for her because she probably haven't seen her family and forever. So to be reunited with her brother was amazing. She introduced Mookie to Blue. Blue was like, I heard so much about you. You're her pride and joy. And Mookie gave Rock another kiss and a hug. And they was chopping it up pretty good. And they decided to leave the bowling alley to go meet up with the rest of the family. And as they're walking downstairs and then get outside, Mookie and Blue starts having a conversation. And they also talked about how when Rock stole Blue's car, and Blue was trying to tell his side of the story, but in their eyes, I guess, Mookie's eyes, he sees like his sister can do no wrong, regardless if she's an adult or not. He sees her still as this little girl, and he's her protector. So Blue's trying to tell his side of the story of what happened, and it's just like they trying to make sense of it, but it's like Mookie, it's like he kind of on the fence. It's like he wants to believe Blue, but then again, at the same time, he's like, family over everything. Is I don't care what you say, my sister is right regardless if she's wrong. That's the type of vibe I was given when I was seeing them contemplate and talking like that. Eventually they kind of hashed out the realization of what was going on, and they all went to go meet up with the rest of the family. So they pulled up into front of the hotel. Once they get out the Sprinter, Rock is greeted with a hug and kisses from her mother, which was a beautiful moment. Because it seems like the mom, she basically, I guess, from what I'm seeing, from when I watched it, she really don't have much to say. I think it's the siblings that's making it worse than what it really is. But neither the case, neither here or there. She greets her mom and gives her a hug. She greets her sister, Tessa, and her other sister. And I'm not sure about the other one. One of them she's not too close with. But I know Tessa and Mookie, they like this with her. Everybody else, they kind of like at arm's length, whatever the case may be. So, long story short, everybody ganged up on Blue and was like, why did you do this to her? Why you put your hands on her and all that other stuff? They said, well, listen. She put her hands on me first. And then it's like, it wasn't getting nowhere. They basically draw that out for what reason, I do not know. So it was Rock's, 3 sisters, her brother, her biological father, her stepfather, and her mother. Like, why did none of them be like Rufus? Like, that's the stepfather. He was all calm and collected. He was just there just to be there. He wasn't in nothing. He was just, I guess, there for moral support of the mom. But you know what I find funny? When the father stepped up to the mom, he kissed her on the lips. Like, ain't you in a whole other relationship? Like, what? Where did they do that at? I guess in Baltimore. So, sorry. So, after they all trying to talk to Blue, the father stepped up and was talking like, why'd you put her hands on her? And then you got Mookie. He stepped up to the dad and said something to her in the ear. And it's just like, you kind of gaslighting the situation when you could have been like, well, he told me this was this. But they wasn't trying to. They were basically ganging up on Blue. Everyone, especially the girls. And the father was like, don't put your hands on her ever. And Blue's still trying to tell his part of the story. Next thing you know, her dad, mind you, Chrisean is standing in front of Blue. So while they're talking, she's right there. And everybody's just trying to like gang up on him. And she's just there crying, just standing there crying like. So Chrisean's dad popped Blue in the face. And you see Rock swing at her dad too. Like, that's when the whole thing started going and escalate. Everybody was trying to swing on each other. Eventually, the security broke up the fight between Rock's dad and Blue, had them go separate ways. And the security was holding on to her, and holding on to Blue. While they was doing that, Rock is there with her siblings, and they're going back and forth, trying to fight her like the girls, especially one with the green dress, going back and forth, telling like this and this and this is like, why are you? It was just a whole lot of nonsense going on. Eventually, while Blue was able to escape, and he saw Rock's dad on the ground, and he popped him in the back of his head. Like, first of all, you're not gonna come up to my face and disrespect me and then hit me. Like, make it make sense. If this is supposed to be a cordial meetup, why is all this confrontation? Like, we could have just did this over the phone. Like, for real. Or FaceTime the whole thing over the phone. Like, what? So once that happened, now you got the police on the way, because I guess, bystanders was watching, like, listen, they got a confrontation out here. We need to have some backup, and something happened. That's what happened. Next thing you know, the dad ended up getting him off the ground. Once that happened, the girl with the green dress, she was livid. She was like, nah, he done punched my daddy. And then the dad gets out and spit out blood. And everybody is just like going hard on Rock, like, and then everybody was like, Blue, you need to get out of here. At first, he couldn't go into the hotel. And then eventually when the cops came, he had to go into the hotel. And then Rock had to go into the hotel. They still trying to come at Rock because of Blue hitting their dad. Like, that was a whole mess of, I don't know, confusion. Like, y'all really went in for what reason? It was not necessary. I understand that their relationship is their relationship, but it's like, at some point, you got to understand. She's an adult now. People will put up with what they want to put up with. And if she's happy with that, that's just her. I mean, you can't force nobody to be in a relationship with somebody or not be in a relationship with them. That's their choice. That's their right. Like, you're her family on the outside looking in. You just got to support her and just know that she's going to make the best situation moving forward. Like, you know how many people are in those type of situations that it's just hard to just get up and leave, and that they've been comfortable for so long that they're condoned to that type of behavior. Maybe that's just a norm for her. That's just how they rock. That's just how they get down. Like, that's just what they know. That's their love language. I mean, you can't get mad at her, but I mean, the past is in the past. But people are not going to see that far into the future, so they just see the past as hurt, and they're just going to rock with it. So eventually, that was that. Basically, this whole episode of them going back and forth for what reason. And I kind of see how it's like Mookie, he played both sides of the fence. Like, when he was with Blue, he was cool and calm and collected. But once he got around his dad and the rest of the siblings, he switched. When Blue tried to talk to him and grabbed his shoulder, he moved back like, don't touch me. What was that all about? Come on, you can't play fake in somebody's face. Like, he ain't stupid. When I look at it, watching it so far, these last 2 episodes, Blue is actually kind of cool. And it kind of shows you that in certain situations, Rock stirs up the situation. Okay? She's overly sensitive. She cries when she don't get her way. Like, and like I honestly say, he said he fights off a reaction. So if you hit me, what you think, I'm gonna just stand there like a doormat and let you hit me? No, I'm gonna hit you back. Okay? It's called a reaction. Self-defense. I'm defending myself from you touching me because you shouldn't have touched me in the first place. But yeah, I can't wait for next week's episode. It shows the part that I guess it's just some trouble in paradise, where I guess Blue and Rock are supposed to meet up somewhere, and come to find out that didn't happen. So Blue was on his way to Vegas, and Chrisean got mad and she started crying, and she was like, "Listen, I can't do this anymore. I know why you're in Vegas. It's not just a gamble. You there to get some that, and you care to get some, SCX from some females." So she had a whole temper tantrum behind that, and say she can't do that anymore, and she decided to focus on herself. And also that she has this court case that she might be charged with, I guess, from when she had stole his car, and he had pressed charges on him. So yeah, that was this whole episode. I kind of feel like this episode was not needed, but then again, you also got to see the backstory of what really happened, opposed to what they actually showed on the internet prior to us watching the season. So yeah. So guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for next week's. I got y'all. Y'all want to see some more of this crazy in love, but Blueface and Rock? Tune in, okay? Bye.